Hey everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting. And by everyone, I think there's like one person watching at the moment, but hopefully a few more people will hop in here in a minute. We are hanging out. We're doing another whatever report on this Sunday, where I'm going to talk about whatever. I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about this week. It's not like any movies or TV shows or anything happened this week that anybody has any interest in at all. We will be saving those for the end, so that we can hang out for a little bit, and then I give my thoughts with spoiler warnings, and I'll try to actually keep the spoilers to a minimum, but we'll see where it goes when I give my thoughts on the current status of Hawkeye and Spider-Man in the MCU. So I'll give some thoughts on that later, right before we get out of here. Yeah, Louis is saying it's been a pretty boring week, right? Pretty boring. We had Ruben, White Tiger, hanging out early saying Cowabunga fam. So, yeah. Right now, it looks like that's it. Everybody else is busy. Which I can understand. It's the holidays. Things are crazy. They are busy. People going in a million directions. So, I completely understand. Anybody that shows up and hangs out with me tonight, I appreciate it a bunch. So, what we got going on the channel? I don't know that I have anything really scheduled between now and the end of the year. I am probably going to try to get a look back done this week. I think I should have time. I don't know that I'll post it on Saturday. I may post it on actually I'm going to get it done, because that means I will not have missed a week all year except for the very first week of the year, which was when my birthday was. That's the only time I missed a look back, TJ. Just for you, I didn't miss a single week this year. So I expect no more peanuts, buddy. But yeah, I haven't missed any look backs this year. So I think I'm going to try to get this one done. And then, but I will say for sure, the next Saturday, which is the week before my birthday, and that's when my family's doing a bunch of stuff. Like I got a bunch of stuff going on that whole week from Christmas to the 1st, which is my birthday, for those who don't know. Yeah, that whole week, there's a bunch of stuff going on. There will be no look back video that week. Sorry. I don't know that I will do. I probably will not do. I assume Tom and them may do like a year end list or something. And I may do I don't know. I may do something there. I don't know if I'll do anything. Like, I don't know that there'll be a cash or trash or anything like that this next week. Probably not. Just because with Christmas and everything else, I don't know when they'll even put those lists out or if they will. So yeah, so that may be the only video I do between now and the end of the year. I may try to squeeze a couple other things in. We'll see. Or I may not worry about it. So look back next week. I'm not sure what the timing on release is. It probably will not be Christmas Day. I may either hold it till the day after Christmas, or I may try to release it the day before on Christmas Eve. One of the two. We'll see. And then the other thing, tentatively on the 1st, I may have to reschedule to the 2nd, but tentatively my plan is on the 1st, I will finally be doing my 3,000 sub birthday / 3 years on YouTube. We won't quite hit the 3-year mark, but we're going to do a 3 years on YouTube. We're going to do it all one big celebration on the 1st. I think it's the plan. The evening of the 1st, we're going to hang out. I'm going to give away some stuff. I'm going to have a bunch of people, friends come on and hang out with me. So looking forward to that. More details will follow. I may post some stuff on Instagram and maybe on the community tab and some other stuff as we get ready for that. So I got that coming up. There probably will be a whatever report next Sunday. Yeah, because I'll be home. Yeah, there'll probably be a whatever report next Sunday, which might be the last whatever report on Sundays. I should say on Sundays. We'll see how that works out. But after the 1st of the year, starting in January, I will be hosting the D&D game on Sunday nights, which means I won't be doing this right before. It's kind of a pain to really do this and then go play even, but to like organize D&D, what I'm planning to do tentatively is to move whatever report to Saturdays. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, so those are the things got coming up on the channel. I did drop a couple videos this week. I did drop my updated goal list, which was not meant to be a okay list, but we'll see how that works out for me. I will say, is that on Sunday night? I thought that was during the day. I could have that mixed up. Well, I definitely won't do it on the 2nd because when the Chiefs stomp the Bengals, which they will do, and then that'll put them one game away from after they stomp the Steelers next week, one game away from locking up home field and the number 1 seed in the AFC. So, yeah, you guys, you had a chance to bury my Chiefs. You did. You had a chance to bury them. The AFC backed up the truck. And now the Chiefs are the 1 seed, and I don't expect them to give it back. I could be wrong. They might lose the game. The way the AFC has gone, just when you think you got it figured out, somebody loses. But I don't think they're going to lose. Oh, and here's that one. Okay, I was going to say, I thought it was in the afternoon, but I couldn't remember. And you can talk trash all you want. So, we'll see. I'm feeling pretty good, though. The last few days, it went very well for the Chiefs. Well, last few weeks, it went very well for the Chiefs. So they seem to be starting to kind of get it figured out and get it rolling. So you probably should have buried them when you had the chance, AFC. But we'll see. So, yeah. What else is going on that I was going to talk about? Not a whole lot. I don't really want to dig right into spoilers just yet because we're only 7 minutes in, and I'm going to do well, normally I go for 45 minutes of me rambling, which so I don't want to dig into because there are definite spoilers there, so I don't want to run people off and before I start, but I am going to give myself quite a bit of time, particularly for my take on No Way Home. Think I'm a man on an island, but we'll save that for later. So, and if you've seen anybody else's comments on No Way Home, that tells you where I'm at. So, but yeah, we'll save that for later. I did go on and make a non-slabbed ASM background this week, so these are non-slabs, just ASM books behind me this week. So, so we'll talk about that here in a little bit. What else is going on? So yeah, I got the 3-year anniversary thing. I can show some of the stuff. I'm mostly going to give away some of my favorite reads, some trades that I got. Let's just pull the stack here. We're gonna do, and I may add some more stuff in. I haven't decided. We'll see how many giveaways we're gonna do. But a little dust on that. I'm going to give away a trade of The Long Halloween. I recently upgraded myself to a deluxe edition. I've only actually read this trade, I think, once. So we're going to give away a little Batman stuff. Got some more Batman we're going to give away. We're going to give away Court of Owls, Volume 1. And we're going to give away Year 1. And we're going to give away a copy of Hush. So 4 of the best Batman stories of all time. If you've never read them, or if you just don't have a copy, and we're going to give away trades on all 4 of those on my giveaway on the 1st. In addition, because I upgraded to the Omni, I'm going to give away the first 3 volumes of All New Wolverine, this was the run that got me hooked back into comics when I walked into a shop in 2018. So yeah, All New Wolverine by Tom Taylor, current writer of Nightwing, and some other stuff. Which you got the Dark Knights of Steel and Son of Kal-El. You got several things going on. This All New Wolverine, I love this run. That's going to be going in. That's going to be given away. We're going to give away Volume 1 of Monstrous. And I clearly have not pulled all the stuff off the shelf yet because there should be a couple more trades there. But yeah, so those for sure are going away. I think I'll actually give away first volume of Dr. Aphra. So anybody that's interested in that character. Also upgraded this to an Omni for the whole series. So this first trade is going to be in the stack. And I'll probably add some more stuff before we get done. So yeah, I'm going to be giving away a bunch of trades on that show on the 1st. On January 1st, my 3,000 sub, 3 years on YouTube and birthday, because that'll actually be my birthday, celebration. I'm an old man. Just for the spoiler alert. So those are just some of the trades I plan on just like sending out to people. So if people are, so we'll be giving those away during the stream. Got to be present to win, because there's no like contest or anything. I'm too lazy to run a contest. That's just the fact of the matter is, I will probably never run another contest for my channel. I probably should, maybe at 5, I'll think about it, but at 5,000 subs. But at this stage, I'm just kind of lazy, and I just will, I'd rather just do a live show and give stuff away to people to show up. That's where I'm at. So Big Will has arrived. What is going on, Big Will? Thank you for hanging out, man. He and I will be hanging out later over on White Will's channel. And then we'll be hanging out a bunch, playing D&D, other things. And hopefully, and I'll be hanging out. I'm gonna try. I keep saying this. I'm gonna try to do better in the new year on collecting smart. I'd like to actually get a string and doing that. Get back to doing that monthly at least. Really monthly, I think is about right for that one. But I'd like to get back to doing that. I want to get back to doing some Let's Collect. I've been getting a lot of people have been finding those suddenly that have found my channel and now are finding those Let's Collect. So they're getting a ton of views. I need to go back and add to that list as well. So we'll see if Best Laid Plans of Mice and Men I actually get any of that done, or if I just keep struggling to do the few things that I do. So we'll see. Oh goodness. Anything else? And not that I can think of at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of hanging out, trying to sort of get by with everything else. Sort of glad to see the back of 2021. I'll be honest. It's been a bit of a rough year for me on multiple fronts. I won't go into a ton of details. It continues to be a rough year here as we're wrapping it up. As I've had several unexpected expenses here in December, all of which came up after I'd pretty much spent all the money I'd planned to spend on Christmas stuff. So I was already sort of broke. And then, then it's like, oh, this is going to break. And this is going to break. And, oh, you need money for this. And that kind of stuff. So, so we just keep plugging away. For sure. Big Will is laughing at me because, yes, I've promised to do better about collecting smart on 19, 20, 400 times. That's why he's laughing, because he doesn't believe me, which he shouldn't at this point, but he should not believe me at this point, but we're going to try. That's all I can say. Other stuff I do have coming up that I didn't talk about. So first we're doing the celebration on the 3rd, Monday the 3rd. We had to reschedule, but till after Christmas, but we're going to wrap up Lock and Key. So if you've been following along with us on our read of Lock and Key on the Indie Show, we'll be wrapping this up on the 3rd, and then we may even we've talked about all digging into the actual show on Netflix, and then maybe talking about that. We'll see if we actually do that. Holy moly, that's crazy. Hey, Tacoma. Well, we have a safe flight. I forgot. Yeah, you're on your way across the country, so for sure. 553rd time's the charm. That's right. That's right. So I only have to not start it a couple more times before I get there. Binged it recently. So he did Comics for Blaine, binged the show recently. Have you read the Comics for Blaine? I am curious. I will probably try to binge it once we get done, because I am curious to see how well the show is. So how good the show is compared, because I've really, really enjoyed this comic. For sure. So yeah, we're going to be wrapping this up on the 3rd, Monday the 3rd is the plan. And then on, you binged the comic, not the show. Nice. Well, now that you've binged the comic, all right. Well, you'll have to come hang out with us when we talk about it on the 3rd, the finale. and then talk about the series as a whole. And then, yeah, you'll have to check out the show if you're interested. I'm definitely interested in seeing if the show lives up to it. And then on the 4th, I have another indie show scheduled, but you guys know how I schedule these and then they get rescheduled. I schedule them and they get rescheduled. And I'm lucky to get them in. But on the 4th, we're planning to talk Invincible. We're up to Ultimate Collection Volume 9, which is 97 through 108. So we're into the second half. So looking forward to that on the 4th. And I don't have any others scheduled yet. I need to get some more scheduled for sure. The show is disappointing. Oh, that's no good. I actually heard some people say it was good. So we'll have to see. Darn the luck. So yeah, definitely Tacoma, who is on that show with me on talking about Lock and Key. He and Downright Nerdy Podcast and Comic Man Andy. So we're all hanging out and talking about that. So I think that's everything that I got coming up. At least that I have scheduled at this point. Look back next week, hopefully. No look back the weekend of the January 1st and stuff because I'm taking that week off. Hey Dre, what is going on? Probably whatever report next weekend. My celebration on January 1st, which is birthday, 3 years on YouTube, and 3,000 subs. Technically, I won't be to 3 years on YouTube until the 13th of January, but I'm just cramming them all in. So we might do like a little something on the 13th to kind of celebrate. But and then after that, Lock and Key on the 3rd, Invincible on the 4th, and then I think the 8th we'll be doing session 0 of the new D&D campaign that I am DMing for the first time ever. Pray for me. that I don't make it extremely boring. Hopefully I do a good job. So yeah, I thought I dropped it in the chat, but I was shooting for the 8th. Is it the 8th? Whatever the second Sunday of January. To do our session 0, and then the Sunday after that we do our session 1. So but we'll talk about that. We can talk about that later. Big Will for sure. But yes, shooting for that second weekend of January. All right. So I'm 18 minutes in. I'm only gonna go 40-ish, 45 minutes. Let's talk Hawkeye for a minute. So, because I don't really have anything else to talk about, and I kind of want to talk. I really want to spend a lot of time talking about Spider-Man. You may have that chat. You may have, yeah. There's a lot of chatting going on in that chat, for sure. So let me get a banner up here. Actually, well, I'm going to talk for a second because I'm going to edit this one so that I can put it up later. Let's save that one, but then let's put this one up there. Okay. So here's your warning. If you're not caught up through episode 5 of Hawkeye spoilers. So we're going to talk about Hawkeye now for a little bit. So if you are not caught up, this is your fair warning to bail out because I'm going to talk about Hawkeye through episode 5. I am caught up. I've been watching it on Wednesdays. Not getting up and watching it, but like watching it like Wednesday evening or whatever. I'll probably get up and watch it on Wednesday this week because I'm not going to be working. So, yes, I am warning for spoilers right here. Warning for spoilers, Big Will says. So, yeah, if you're not caught up on Hawkeye and you care about spoilers, some people don't, you need to be caught up. I continue to love this show. I like it's been a slower build. I love the pacing to a point. Like I love that it's been a little bit of a slower build. I love that they've taken moments to build a relationship. Big Will dropping spoilers right in the chat. What are you doing? I love that they've taken the time to kind of build this relationship between Kate and Clint. I'm just going to state flat out. Yelena is a character I never had really read. I'd never really cared about in the comics. Had no interest in at all for the most part. Before the Black Widow movie, she sort of stole the movie. Although I enjoyed like her and Natasha stuff was the highlight of that movie for me. Louis saying the show has been so great. Revealing them, yeah. Comics for Blaine saying he was pumped for the reveal that we got at the end of the show. Yes, the Kingpin reveal was amazing, and I will talk about that some more in a minute. But I got to talk about my girl Florence Pugh, Yelena. That whole scene with her and Kate and the macaroni and just was so well written, so well performed. I just loved it. It was they have since confirmed, yeah, they have confirmed that, but loved a lot of stuff, yes. No understand anything is wrong. We'll see what you guys think about me here in a minute. I love that scene. I thought that scene was so well done. And my only complaint about the whole thing at this stage, and well, I'll save that for a minute. So then we get the reveal that what I knew was coming, that Kate's mom is actually up to no good to a certain degree. We'll see just how deep she actually is, but clearly not above board. And probably left. It's interesting to see like Jack and his pleading of innocence if she just completely set him up. It was so scary. I know. Like she has literally become. She's the thing I didn't know I needed in the MCU that now is one of my favorite things in the entire MCU. Like as a character, actress, I want more Yelena. I find ways to shove her into everything, please, because she's so good, for sure. I have read the first two. I forget how long that run goes. I know I've read the first two volumes. I'm trying to think if I've read beyond that. It's been a while. I don't remember exactly how many issues I've read. I have not read the whole run, but I've read most of it, so I forget now. But anyway, and then we get the reveal of Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin in the photo with Kate's mom at the end of the show, and Clint saying, "Oh, that's the guy I've been worried about the whole time." Like, I think that's freaking fantastic. It was so well done. Like, we all had heard the rumors. We all kind of knew. So I wasn't really surprised that they brought him in to this as the big overseer. And when they kept talking about, like, even before that he showed up, because I was not spoiled, when they kept talking about the guy in charge, the boss, the thing, and then eventually, and I was like, oh, this is where they're going to bring him in. They're going to bring him in. Like, I started, particularly in episode 5, like, when he's having a scene with Maya and he's talking about, sometimes a weapon pointed by the wrong people. Like, I was like, oh, this is where it's going. And I was glad to be right. I mean, it's not like it was a big leap because we had heard the rumors, and they denied and denied. But this week, like, before that episode came out, they confirmed that Charlie Cox was coming back as Daredevil. And as soon as they did that, I was like, that probably more than anything is why I knew he was going to show up in episode 5, because that confirmation set up, the week. And yeah, so that is totally, I was like, that's why the whole time I'm thinking, oh, they're going to show up. They are going to show up, because that had been the rumors. And so yeah, I'm really enjoying it. My complaint is Louis' complaint. I don't see how they wrap all this up with the current pacing and the way they've done this in an episode. Like, there's only one episode left. I get it's supposed to be like the longest episode they've done yet, but it's still like under an hour. You're talking, there has to be some kind of thing with him. They have to wrap up the whole thing with Maya and Echo and point her toward her show. They have to deal with this watch, whatever the heck this is, and who it points to and what they are, at least a little bit. They have to deal with Jack and his whole situation and being framed. We have to deal with Armand's murder, which we really haven't. The one thing that happened off the thing that was supposedly going to be a driving force, and we really haven't addressed it all. We have to deal with the Elena and her deal and the tracksuit. Like, there's so much left to deal with. I don't see how they get it all wrapped up well in an episode. I feel like it's going to be super rushed to deal with it all in an episode. But, yeah. Echo's ties to Kingpin. Yeah. So Echo, clearly, my guess is that's the next place we see him, and we see somebody else. Like they did publicly confirm Charlie Cox this week. So, but yeah, my guess is we see them in the Echo show before we get whatever Daredevil project we're going to get. That's my thoughts for sure. I think there's probably definitely going to be a season 2 of some sort for sure. Like, I don't know that Kate's going to get her own movie. I think Kate's going to get a season 2. We'll see how much of a role Clint plays. Also, at some point, the other thing they have to do that I didn't even talk about yet, unless they're just going to kill him off, is Clint has to make it home for Christmas, and we have to get that scene as well. So there you go. And Louis throwing out a Kang related. Oh my gosh, stupid watch thing that like people are buying Avengers 268 because it was lot 268 and it has nothing to do with anything. It's so dumb. But anyway, so I think for sure we're gonna get a season 2. I think, yeah. What time is it? Oh, I got a few more minutes. Yeah. So no, I am hyped for the finale. The show is really like. So if you think about the four live action stuff they did, WandaVision was this weird, fun, eclectic, out there, risk taking. Really loved that. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was solid, just MCU storytelling, action movie over 6 episodes, MCU storytelling. Loki was a little different, like a little bit of a detective, I enjoyed Loki probably the least. I felt it was the least consistently good. I think Hawkeye has been, maybe we'll bump WandaVision from my top spot. We'll see how it wraps up. It's been a slow build. I've really enjoyed it. I've just really loved the character interactions, the time they've taken for those, the conversations. I thought it's been so well written. It hasn't taken many risks. It's been very straightforward, but I've really, really just enjoyed it a lot. I would guess some of it will definitely continue in Echo. I mean, obviously hers, but I would guess, yeah. I'm guessing some of this is going to split off toward her show, and we'll see how much Clint and Kate get sucked into that, or if they don't. But yeah, there's definitely going to be, I would guess that's for sure, like the Kingpin and potentially Daredevil stuff is all going to be in the Echo show. See, I hadn't thought that. I hadn't thought they were previews for movies, but yeah. Thanks, Cards fan. I am talking Hawkeye spoilers, so if you're not caught up and you don't want spoilers at the moment, come back later after you've caught up to episode 5. So, oh, you're just talking about like the Kingpin story. I expect it to. I think that's the logical place that we're next going to get. To me, Kingpin and Daredevil will be there for sure. Okay, speaking of Mr. Charlie Cox, it's time to move on to my other thing. So those are my thoughts on Hawkeye. I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving the show. Gotcha. Well, I'm wrapping up the Hawkeye thing. So here's your guys' chance. I'm at 30 minutes. I'm only going to go for about 15 minutes more. It's probably going to take me this long. There's 15 minutes. So we're going to do a quick switch. All right. I've seen No Way Home. If you've not seen No Way Home, please bail out. Don't do it. Because you should see it. You should definitely go see it. If you have any interest in it at all, you should see it without me talking about it. I'll be honest, I'm going to try not to actually give full spoilers like during this conversation, but I can't really give my thoughts and have them make sense. If I don't give at least some of the spoilers, for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys plenty of time to get out of here before I talk about this. So 10, 9, whatever. Little countdown. But see you, Big Will. I will talk to you later, man. That seems I really think you should go see it, Comics for Lame, if you have any interest, but and you should not let what I'm about to say cloud anything about you going to see it, for sure, because I saw it 3 times in 2 days. Already, no spoil the F about this already. Okay. Hey, Dave, what's going on, man? So apparently I'm the Grinch. I'm the guy standing up on a mountain, complaining about all the Who's down in Whoville, celebrating Spider-Man No Way Home. I am apparently the Grinch. I apparently don't like fun. I apparently don't like good things. I came out of No Way Home torn. Like, not sure what I really thought, because there are parts of it that are absolutely fantastic. There are things that they do so well. But there's a couple of overarching things that ruin it for me. I've not went and seen it again. Maybe I need to go see it again, because I feel like, because I have literally nobody I've interacted with that's seen it, and I haven't really given my thoughts to any of them, but like briefly, nobody I've interacted with seen it hasn't just loved it completely. He's going to hardcore. I might be the dumpster fire on this one. I will fully admit, and maybe it's just me. I'm the dumpster fire. I am, because I am clearly on an island. It's got like a 97 or 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, which just never happens. I'm seeing people who I respect and normally like agree with on lots of things saying it's their favorite MCU movie, all this kind of stuff. And it does not work for me. Louis loves it completely. and I can get that. Like, I see why people love it. Because there are things about it that are, like I said, fantastic. What I see, like the nostalgia stuff, the bringing back the Sony characters, we all know all of this. This is like bringing them back, despite them constantly saying no. Yes, they did. They gave all of that away, and I think probably that like tempered my enthusiasm for some of it, because all that I knew was going to happen. Even the Charlie Cox reveal, we all knew was going to happen, especially when they earlier in the week were like, yeah, he's going to be our MCU Daredevil. I was like, oh, they're doing that because he actually is in a movie. Knew all of that was going to happen. And I will say the other thing I had, and maybe I need to go see it like prime time with a crowd, is I went Friday afternoon, and I live in a small town, and they had like 12 showings on Friday. I was the only person in there on Friday afternoon. Now, I went at the 3. The 3:30 was in the bigger theater, like the main screen, and it was almost sold out. The 3 o'clock had no one but me. I saw it by myself. So I didn't get any kind of crowd reaction or anything to like keep me going or distract me from my issues with it. Nice, good for you. I'm a really good lawyer. So all the stuff with the Sony characters, for the almost all the stuff with the Sony characters was done fantastic. I love the Andrew Garfield moment that they give him a little redemption moment. I loved the Doc Ock stuff. Alfred Molina continues to slay that role. I thought Willem Dafoe did great. I thought they gave good moments to both of them. I didn't think they gave good moments to the only one of the ones they brought back. I didn't think they really gave any moments to. I wasn't sure what purpose he was serving was the Lizard. That one didn't make a lot of sense. The crowd was great. Yeah. The Lizard to me didn't really make a lot of sense other than they wanted a 5th one, but we didn't actually get a Sinister Six. And like, that was really weird. But I thought all of that was handled really well, was done really well. I thought they all, other than the lizard, weren't really just thrown in. They gave them all moments. They gave them all like a little bit of an arc. I thought that was done really well. But the nostalgia is not what I know a lot of people were like super hyped about the nostalgia and the bringing those characters back. It's not what I wanted from the movie. I was like, fine, if it works, that's great. It's not what I wanted. I wanted a quality MCU Spider-Man movie. And if you guys don't know anything about me, I've been mostly disappointed in Spider-Man in the MCU. Or excuse me, Iron Boy in the MCU. I haven't liked the way they've handled it. I haven't liked the Iron Boy thing. Here's the thing. They told us at the beginning. So I think some of why I'm mad at it has been building. Like, some of why I didn't enjoy it as much as I should have, it's been building. Why I'm the Grinch on the mountain. They told us from the beginning, oh, we don't need to do another origin because everybody knows it. So we're not going to do another origin story. Okay, that's fine. You don't actually have to do another origin, but you have to deal with the origin. And they never dealt with his origin at all. So by default, his origin became being Tony Stark's protege and being Iron Boy. Because that's what he was after Far From Home and No Way Home and Homecoming and No Way Home and the two Infinity War and everything else. And never once had we heard the words great power, great responsibility. Nothing. We still haven't even seen Uncle Ben. If Uncle Ben even existed in the MCU. It doesn't appear that it's going to matter, but when they pulled the Myers in. Yeah. Oh, they were trying to get him for sure. So, the best part is completely stripped of that. So that's what I wanted. I wanted them to clean that shit up. What I didn't want, in order to do it, was a completely nonsensical origin that doesn't like actually match. And part of the reason I think maybe I'm more annoyed, and I probably shouldn't have read it, is I read an article that was quoting Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal after I came out, when I was still like trying to figure out what I thought about it. And she talked about like, oh, we wanted to get back to the core characteristics of Peter, being poor, being on his own, being like, I'm like, those are not core characteristics of Peter Parker. And this is where I think they screwed it up, and what pisses me off. Him being poor has nothing to do with Peter Parker. It's a trope that they've used for years to show the consequences of his drive to follow Uncle Ben's words of great power comes with great responsibility. And if you go back to that, how that's set up in the comics and every time before, is Uncle Ben says that to him, with great power comes great responsibility. And Peter, and the action is, Peter has an opportunity to do something, and he doesn't. And the unintended consequence is Uncle Ben dies and pays for it. And even though it's not really his fault, Peter blames himself, the guilt, forever. And basically, from that point forward, he always puts the people he can help ahead of himself. Always. And it screws up his life. It screws up his jobs. It screws up his relationships. He sacrifices everything else to help people because he can. And almost to a fault. Almost too much. And that's who Peter is. Hey, Planet Arizona, I'm full depth on being the Grinch on No Way Home. So if you don't want to catch the spoilers, I really haven't given any spoilers yet. But yeah, you don't want to be spoiled. You should not watch this and come back later. Same with you, Deep House. Thank you for joining us. That's who Peter is. It's about not doing something that he could have, realizing the consequences, and swearing that he's never going to do that again, that he's always going to try to help. This is a rant. It is. So, they didn't give us the Uncle Ben origin because we don't need it. Well, they realized they needed it. Or they needed the great power, great responsibility. They needed it going forward. They realized that was a mistake. So they tried to fix it in this one. Here's my problem. He's an idiot in this movie. And so is kind of May. He does something exceedingly stupid at the beginning. Lazy, looking for a quick fix, not willing to work his way through it. Not Spider-Man, Peter Parker kind of stuff. Kind of Tony Stark kind of stuff. Like going to Doctor Strange to get a quick fix. That all goes wrong. There's consequences to what he did. So instead of dealing with what he did, he then doubles down because she gives him guilt because Norman appears to need help. Here's the thing. They don't help anybody. Nothing he does during the course of the movie actually helps anybody. You could argue that he helps Doc Ock. But that already happened. Like, that kind of ruins his arc a little bit in the Spider-Man 2, because instead of him taking control of the ship himself at the end and making the right decision, they just fix it for him. This is my point, Cards fan. This is my point. So they try to help these people that aren't really wanting help. And their help is, we're going to take your powers away and then send you back to your universe. Guess what? At the moment of your death, so you're still going to die. They didn't help anyone. Like, none of what he did mattered. When Doc Ock goes back, who he maybe helped the most, because he now has control of the arms again. When he goes back, he's still going to be, at the moment, he was holding Tobey Maguire by the throat. When Tobey takes off his mask, he's like, Peter Parker, smart but lazy. And Tobey convinces him to realize that the sun, his little generator, is still going to be out of control. He's still going to have to take it into the river and drown it. He's still going to die. Nothing changed. Nothing. Norman's going to come back, still get impaled. Don't get me started on why even Electro's there. Electro's going to go back, and his atoms are getting scattered through the power grid. Guess what? What did you do for Max? Took away his power? He's still going to die a horrible death? Let's say he doesn't in his body or whatever, and then he's just going to jail. Okay, I don't know how that would work, but whatever. But Andrew Garfield at that moment wouldn't know that that's what's happening. The Lizard got cured at the end of ASM anyway, like at the end of the other movie. You just cured him again. Okay. Like, Sandman lost his powers. Like, nobody actually got helped. None of it mattered. All it did was get her killed. So the lesson is not the same lesson. Like, when she says it to him, it's not. The consequences of them helping stupidly, of being arrogant, that I can fix these people, cost her life. It's not doing something when he could have. It's doing something when they shouldn't have. Like, I could not get past that. Like, that did not work for me at all. And it just pissed me off. I'll be honest. It did. And so you can see, I am the Grinch. I am the man on the island. I apparently the only one that couldn't get past it. Well, Cards fan apparently is on board with me, but he hadn't actually seen it yet, had you? Or were you not the one that... Oh, he really liked it. Okay. For me, it just... That whole thing just ruined it. And yeah, and then at the end, it cost him everything. Like, and I'm sorry, but technically the way the spell should have worked, every other version of, like, I'm sure that's not what they're going to say, but every other version of Peter Parker should have suffered the same consequences he did, because everybody in the universe and all the multiverse that knew who Peter Parker was should have forgotten in order for them not to come to that world. Technically, that's the way it should have worked. Because they didn't know that version of Peter anyway. They knew their version, and they were being sucked in. So in order for them to forget, every version of Peter got erased. Every version. If you want to be technical about it. Like, that's the way it should have worked. It's not, but like, and I get it, that's comics or whatever, but he still loved it. There you go. So I'm still on the island. And then, yeah, the end is very much written in a way that if he just disappears from the MCU because they can't work out future deals with Sony, he just disappears. That's just the end. Also, if Tom Holland walks away, which he's talked about seriously, that's just the end. You're thinking too hard. Just look at the other Spider-Man. So then let's get to the other thing that annoyed the hell out of me. Why is Electro there? Other than to fix the fact that Sony handled Electro so poorly when they put him in the movie with his design and everything else. It was terrible. It's the only reason he's there, to give Jamie Foxx a chance to have the character be decent. He didn't know who Peter Parker was. The very nature of what they're saying is happening doesn't make sense with him there. Does not make sense at all. Got to the end and he revealed himself and he's like, oh, I figured you were a black kid. No idea who Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Same goes for Venom, that their little tag at the end. That doesn't work. He's like, I'm thinking too hard. I clearly am. Because the more I've thought about it, the less I've liked it. Right? He didn't know. He did not know. And why would other Peter Parkers get sucked in? Because they know they themselves are. That's weird. But that one at least sort of makes sense, I guess. So yeah, it just, the Aunt May stuff just did not work. And it's not that it was Aunt May replacing Uncle Ben. It just never worked for me. It just did not. The way they set it up, it did not work for me. They were being arrogant. They were fixing people. Like the whole plot. And Doctor Strange comes out and he's like, oh, he's doing it. He's actually, I'll be damned. He didn't what? He did nothing. He should have just sent him home. Like, if the plot had been them trying to figure out how to get them people home and it had been much more complicated, that works. And then the other thing that pisses me off is he would have killed him. Like, he wouldn't have stopped himself. Toby had to stop him. And that's not my Peter Parker either. Should have been. He had the thing to do it in one hand, like he'd broken off a piece of it, was going to do it in one hand, and they throw him, like he does at the end, throws him the cure, and you see him choose the cure. Should have been the end. Yeah, that was all that was. But he's from a different universe, so all the Venoms in all the universes have a hive mind. I don't know. It just... But now he has no support system, because he has no May. So he's completely on his own. Peter Parker doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. I don't know. There's my rant. I went over time. I need to get off of here so I can get ready to go play D&D over on Mike Joel's channel. We're going to do that. I wanted to love it. Like, I came out, I was torn, because there are a lot of really fantastic moments. And I am clearly on an island. Clearly. That, for me, the things that don't work outweigh the good. Because there's a lot of good in it. There's a lot of really great moments. I think a lot of the moments are great. I just think the way they screwed up, like if they had just at any moment during any of his other appearances had a 3-second scene, a 30-second scene of him looking at a photo of him, May, and Ben, and her putting her hand on his shoulder, and him relating that comment, like, it takes care of itself. Then you don't have to do it. And then his motivation is clear from the beginning. And it's not be like Tony Stark. It's Uncle Ben. And the great power and great responsibility. That's all they need. They could have done it in this movie. All they needed is some actor's face. What's the photo going around that, like, people are joking that, like, until we get proved otherwise, that my MCU Uncle Ben is, and it's a picture of her and Joe Pesci from My Cousin Vinny. Like, they could have just used that and put Peter in the photo or something. Like, it would have worked so much better. Well, it broke Batman. So, yeah. And honestly, I need to get off here, but I'm going to keep going. Honestly, I would have been better off, more interested if they'd have just leaped into what the MCU has been, which is no secret identities. Let's see Peter deal with that. Like, if they'd done and the spell didn't work and they just had to send those people back and Peter just had to live with being Spider-Man and people knowing and deal, particularly with Aunt May out of the picture, just him having to deal with it. That would have been interesting. That would have been new. That would have been fine. You could have still had the only thing that the core of Peter is his guilt over Uncle Ben's death and that I'm going to put other people first. I'm going to help people. I'm going to do what I think is the right thing because I know that there can be and how that jacks with the rest of his life because he always puts himself last. That's who Peter is. And he could still be that with people knowing who he is. That would have been a different trope. That would have been interesting. Like, that would have been a new take that I could have lived with. I could have lived with people knowing. I actually would have been more happy with that than this. And there you go. So hopefully I didn't ruin it for any of you. This is just my thoughts. The movie was absolutely big fun. And if you were all about the nostalgia and stuff, it was huge fun. I just couldn't get past the fact that they were dumb. And that they weren't actually, the whole thing that got her killed and got everything, the whole thing didn't matter. The instant they go back to their universe, the same things are going to happen to them. None of what they did mattered. All right, I'm done. There you go. Now see Felicia, or Gwen or Harry, or there's lots of ways they can go. I don't know that we're going to get him anymore. Yeah. One more day, yeah, a way to bring her back. That would have been fine, but I'm not a big fan of the one more day, but that's, yeah. And I'm fine. And I am not upset that they replaced that it was her instead of Ben. I'm not upset by that at all. I just feel like the setup was wrong. And then I felt like the whole thing, they kept claiming they didn't do an origin story, and then they did an origin story in appearance 6 because they didn't ever handle the origin. And the result was they ended up with a Spider Lad or an Iron Lad origin instead of a Spider-Man origin. Because they didn't just deal with it, even in a few moments, just dealing with it in that first movie. And they wouldn't have had that problem. All right. I'm out of here. I want to thank you guys for hanging out. I know I'm on an island on this. You should go see it. Everyone else thinks it's wonderful. And I think there's a lot of really fantastic moments in it. I just cannot get past the stupidity of some of it, in my opinion. You guys are awesome. We'll see you a couple more times before the end of the year. Thank you for hanging out. Yes, he cannot not help. That's his nature. And I get that. I just felt like the way this played out doesn't teach him that. It teaches him the opposite. And anyway, yeah. Oh, God, I hope not. Last thing we need is no. Let them go along. All right. Later, everybody. Get out of here before I rant anymore.